Hi guys. Got the laptop. Went upstairs. Got the laptop. I hope everybody is doing good. Sorry you haven't heard from me. It's been impossible. Just been absolutely impossible. Um, what a time. What a time, what a time, what a time. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I know that these events um, are, they're going to be accelerated. I just have to say this for anything, okay? I don't know. And probably, I probably jumped. I probably should not have said anything between the time periods that I thought things would start and things would start. But because I walked ahead of the Lord is what I did. I walked ahead of him. But it's the excitement, it's the excitement because of what he has taught us, but how now, and he told us he would illuminate it, and we would be able to put it all in order. And see, that's what we've been doing. And just the excitement of seeing these orders, and now understanding the little things, going back and seeing the little things that he's taught that we may not have paid attention to, numbers and just all of that. Well, now, yes, they're important. So now when I read them, it's like the Holy Spirit. I mean, I just know what it is. It's like when I read scripture. I oh, can't even tell you. I wish I could sleep more, but Taylor's he's been having some tribulation dreams, and his girlfriend Erin, she's been having a lot, almost every night, tribulation dreams. And I I got the other night, I was down for like a couple hours, and I thought I was in for a good sleep. Woke up after 2 hours. I mean, woke up immediately in the spirit. I had to go back and read. I had to go back and read. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way. Just hang with me, you guys. Hang with me, okay? Because I'm going to be all over the board on this, and I don't want to be, but I know I'm going to be, okay? Now, I talk about the calendars, the different calendars. Enoch's calendar, that's God's calendar. Enoch is the father of time, okay? He recorded everything, right? He recorded everything. Again, that is why he is one of the witnesses, okay? Because he and Elijah have been they've been God's witness to before and after the flood, but for the time, up there, they've witnessed to all God's glory, all God's everything, and that's what they will witness. I mean, they are his witnesses. But Enoch, it was the time. He talked about the signs, okay, so we have Enoch's calendar, we have the Hebrew calendar, and we have the Gregorian calendar that we go by. Okay, now, and you've heard me talk in my videos about these calendars, right? And that's the problem, is because we know that all three are in play, but how to know what is where? This has been the problem. It's been the problem. Because, okay, maybe it's on this one, okay, but if we put it here in the dates, and then that, okay, first of all, they all work together, but yet they're all separate, if you can even understand this. All these calendars they're all in play, okay? They're all in play, but they're all for different. They all have a different purpose, okay? And they're for, all right. Excuse me. The Lord told us that he was teaching us in parables, signs, and wonders. Okay. Parables, signs, and wonders. All right. So, he told us about God's time clock, God's clock. And God doesn't go by days, minutes, hours. That's an earthly, okay? Because see, that time did not start until sin, until sin was upon the earth, okay? Because it started death. It started the decay. So it goes counterclockwise, you understand? Because it's going backwards because it goes to death. There was no death before the sin, fall of man. So that's what started the days, minutes, hours, that's what started that. And it goes counterclockwise, okay? Now, God has 3 gold rings, right? Okay, one of them is not cogged to the other 2, okay? It goes, well, that's God's, okay? That's God's ring, right? His time goes on, passes, his time passes by the events that occur. All right? That's how it's by the events, right? Because everything's already laid out. Everything's already laid out. So it's his time goes by when those events occur and pass. All right. Now, he's got everything already spoken, right? Yes, he does get everything spoken. So it's just a matter of it coming to pass. Okay. I feel something, I don't know. So, there is Enoch's calendar. So if we're being taught by parables, by signs and wonders, okay, let's just say Israel, the Jewish calendar, the Hebrew, and I'm talking about, well, either or, I guess. It doesn't matter if you go by the Hebrew Jewish king calendar, which makes the new year at Nisan 1 in the spring, okay? And then the Jewish Gentile calendar, right, is where their new year starts in September, okay? So, I tend to think it's Nisan 1 is the true, but, you know, I'll get to that anyway. But, so, that is the Hebrew calendar, right? Yes, that's the Hebrew calendar, okay? And so, the Hebrew, that would be the parables, right? Because you're taught in parables, because everything's a pattern. And everything that has happened before, repeats this pattern, okay? And so, again, he teaches us in parables, too, and it's a parable to the patterns of the past. So, parables calendar would be the Hebrew calendar. Okay. So then, Enoch was the signs. You know what I mean? He was the moon, because the Lord said that he placed the moon and the sun and the stars for signs. So that's Enoch, okay? Because Enoch is the true timekeeper because of the moon. In order to tell that, you have to go back to the beginning. It's the placement of the moon and that stuff. Time is off. It's off. It's off. But, and the only way to know the true day and hour in which we are right now is to go back per God's, beginning by his guidelines and go all the way back and by the moon counting and all the way back. Way too long. So the signs, okay, that's Enoch's calendar. Now the wonders, they're the mysteries in the sealed words, and that's what he's teaching throughout the world. Look how many, and he truly is, okay? Some people don't want to believe that, and that's okay. I really wish you would, because wow, what are you missing? And that means that the Lord's not removed those scales, because those who don't see it, who don't see what he's doing, and know that this is the time that he surely is. He's come to do exactly what he said he was going to do, and he's giving us those mysteries and the sealed words. Now, if he told Daniel and John to close them up till the end, and we know we're at the end, how does people know that? I mean, how can they even doubt that that's what he's showing us? You know? So, anyway, they are the mysteries and the sealed words. So that, who's catching that? Who's catching those mysteries and those sealed words? It's the bride. The church. But the bride's really the one that's being taught that. That's what because we're watching. We're ready. He's removed our scales, and he's given us divine sight here and divine hearing. That's what he's done. And those are for the wonders. And so what do we go by? Most all of us go by the Gregorian calendar, our calendar today. So why would a groom, because you don't even know what this whole calendar thing has done. Every day he's given us so much more. Oh, it's the most exciting time. But there's things that we know are coming, that he showed us that's going to happen, but it's trying to place them, okay? Place them, from, we know they're it's trying to place them in their order, okay? So the wonders, the sealed words and the mysteries, it's for the bride, or church, or and it's going to be on the Gregorian calendar. So what that has shown us is that now when we go and we read what he's taught, and we see this now, we know how to what word do I want? How to forecast, how to judge, or where to place that timing of that, okay? That timing of that event, right? Because I know a lot. I was taught, okay, just like everybody else, it was a pre-tribber, that the bride doesn't stay for the tribulation, and that that there's all these things that have to happen, that there's a 7-year trib, and what occurs midpoint, all the stuff that we know, okay? That Damascus falling, the wars, the two witnesses. I mean, and when they die is midpoint on this. All the whole pattern, right? And that's what we've looked for all these years. Oh, that's going to happen. 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 Well, now now that we know that things aren't going so much in that exact order because of the tweaking, of the adjusting that God had to allow happen to his word while it was written here on this earth by man, but it's been in the enemy's hands down here on earth, and it has been tampered with. And he allowed it. He allowed it because those that, regardless of what was removed from it, okay, or what was changed in it, that they still had faith in him and heard him, and you know what I mean, and had that sight. And at the end, regardless of all those changes, that they still stood at the end and loved him and made it through, and they went on their faith, they went on the Holy Spirit, and they were taught through their they were taught from the Holy Spirit, from God inside them. You understand? And they overcame those obstacles of not knowing that, or you know what I mean? It didn't hamper their faith in any way, which a lot of people it does. How many people turn away or won't believe in him because they don't know where Jesus was during some missing years, or they don't at the very beginning, how did God become God? Well, who made them, and what happened to them, and who did that, and who did? We all know that same thing. It's written down. Okay, all that stuff is written down. Okay, it just wasn't placed, in the Bible. All right. Now, I've said this a zillion times. You don't think the enemy had the majority of his, people sitting at that table when they canonized the Bible? Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, he did. But God, he's whatever the enemy tries to make it for bad, he's going to turn around and make it for good. And so God the Father had to allow it, okay? But he's always got a reason. But yeah, so all this stuff is written and recorded, and it's now that we know that the tweaking has been done, okay, and the removal of things, now you know that there's other things that, again, ways that have been taught by generations way before us, and that, certain things just, they were taught how they understood it because they were teachers, but they had to teach it. They taught the best that they knew how, what made sense to them. But a lot of that has been off, But through the years, down and down and down and down and down, that's been the teaching. Not saying it's all wrong at all, but I'm saying there's bits and pieces in there that are not right. And it affects the whole ball of wax. Okay? It affects the whole thing. So that's what it is. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. So the Lord has come now to show us. But these it's this calendar thing is just, it's huge. You don't understand. It is huge. Huge. I have been reading. There's a website. I can't even. I'm sure I can't even. It's where I go. It's just a reference, actually. When I'm looking up a specific Jewish month, of course, Tevet, right? Tevet, and before it was Kislev. So it was. It is. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look it up here. It's Bete. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's BETEMUNAH.org, /feast. But and then you go to the Hotmail thing, but it has the list of the months, but it's got what happened on those days of those months. Moses gave the law, the second law, okay, or the law a second time, to the Israelites. Blah 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 blah. On these days, Moses third time in the mountain, or it's the 40th day of rain with Noah. I mean, it's all this, and it tells on the Hebrew calendar, but on the Jewish days, what the importance of them, and you can match them. And then I have a calendar of Gregorian calendar, but in there is also the Jewish, the Hebrew days, you know. And then I can go and I can see um, what maybe I have. I've been led to a certain date. Okay, so then I'm looking at the Hebrew, and I go to the date in the Hebrew calendar that is on, because it's always different. You know, it's not the same as ours. And then I'll go and I'll research what happened on that day in history. Okay, what is that day? Well, there's always scripture, and scripture, it totally completely matches. You know, I don't even know how to explain it, but that's what's been going on. All right. There has been, um, there's a big storm, big storm coming, big storm, you know, and Washington, D.C. is going to get it, okay? It's going to get it. It's going to be bad. Again, it's going to be bad, but it's, Washington, D.C. is going to get it, okay? So the East Coast is I think it's coming from the southeast. But okay, remember I told you that December 2012, that the enemy was granted a special permission, okay, to go out and start his thing. You know, it was setting things in motion for the time we're in now, right? See, because he has to have permission from God, okay? He just can't do it on his own. He's got to have permission from God, especially something like this. But at that time, the permission, okay, was granted. He was given permission to start at that time, to go out and start it. Do your worst, right? Okay. Well, now, okay, that was the enemy, right? And now, Satan has been granted. See, he was given permission then, but see, now he's been granted permission, okay, to ride the storm clouds in like a chariot, okay? So storms that are coming, he's going to be riding those clouds like a chariot. Now, there's going to be something when this comes, all right, that people are going to think it's God. People are going to think it's God. They're going to think that it's the enemy. It's the enemy. You know, we've gotten a lot. It's the enemy. Okay, so it's going to be cold. Now, when the storm, and it's looks to be like over, it's going to hit Washington, D.C., okay, or thereabouts, but it's Satan. He's riding, literally, you know, he's riding the storm, the clouds, as a chariot. He's coming. Coming. What's so sad is, though, people are gonna think it's Jesus. They're gonna think it's Jesus. It's not. So, you know, we're going to the timing of that. I think that's after. I think that's after. You know, I think that's after we're gone. But Okay, see let me tell you the importance. I know I'm confusing. I know, but you have no idea what's going on in my mind. Okay, the reason why it's so important for the calendars, because that's why you might watch different videos of people, teaching stuff, and they'll say, well, this is the true Passover, or the true Hanukkah, or the true something, okay? And it's, but it's already passed, okay? Those dates have already passed now, by a couple weeks, but now you're saying we're just now starting into them again. See, that's because the different, it's because the difference of the calendars. But if you go okay, it's all about, remember this time last year the Lord kept saying, go back to the beginning, go back to my origins, go to my origins and know me. Know me. No, don't listen to whatever, don't learn through, go back, because how things have caught on, uh, patterns and traditions have started, weren't necessarily started my way, are not necessarily, or well, have started my way, or have continued to go my way. That either they started out, you know, not from him, or they started out from him, but has gotten changed, through it some time. And he's saying, you want to know? Go to the beginning and know me. Know how I roll. Know how I set it up. See, it's the moon. It's the new moon too. That showed, that had something to do with the placement of the New Year's. You know how the Jews, how they consider what months are their New Year's. See, there's a whole thing to that. There's a whole thing to that. We know nothing about. Well, I'm sure people do, but I mean, the normal person, we don't study that. See, it affects it all. Just like I said too, that it's the purity of the word, of of his word, that we totally, understand it, and we interpret it how we know it to be. Okay, we're really nobody, all right? His it's how he, his true meaning. Okay, his pure meaning and his true meaning, totally different than how we know it to be. And that is a big that, hence there's where your problems lie in all these. Okay, so that's why he says my ways are so much greater than your, you'll never know. Don't even, I'm God, I'm God. But he has, I mean, he's having us dig, he's having us, he's really putting it on us. Okay, and we are just going around the clock. And we've had, you know it's just been incredible though what he's opened my eyes to. I just can't believe it. I just can't even believe. I wouldn't know that. I'm like, how would I know that? How would I know that? You just, I'm sorry. Every time I do a video, somebody wants to come up. You just gotta hang with me here, okay? And believe me, it is this. It's the calendars, okay? It's God's clock of timing, okay? And it's the parables, the sign, the parable, signs and wonders, all right? And it all connects. It all connects. And until you see the connection, and how it goes, you know, you, you, you can't understand it. You can't understand all the stuff that we've been shown. Okay, it's been a timing thing. It's like, okay, but when? Remember I told you at first we thought it was going to happen now, then we were all, but then we learned what we had to be taught. But it's trying to place that. Well, it's layers upon layers upon layers. But what everybody's main sign is the tetrads. Is that's hands down the tetrads. All right. So that is That should have always been straight out there, the go-to sign. Now, everybody's looking for the fall feast, for the new year in September, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Now, that's for the Jews. That's not for us. That's not for the bride. And I told you that. That's for them, okay? That is not us. We are gone before then, okay? See, again, Matthew 25, that's going to happen. It's going to happen before then. That's going to happen. That's a judgment. It's a judgment. It's not for the end. It's a judgment, okay? Now, that isn't that time. That is, and a lot of people say, well, that is what that is the it's an appointed time. All right, it is an appointed time. That is an appointed time, but it's for the Jews. Okay, now hang with me here. Everybody says, well, nobody knows the day and the hour. He says nobody knows the day or the hour, not even the Son, only the Father. And that's true. That is true. He says, you'll know the season. And there'll be a time when you'll know almost to the day of my coming. Okay? But then again, he says, my coming, you won't know of my coming until it's almost upon you. Okay? Now, but then there is where he says it'll be on a day that is least expected. Okay? Meaning the day that everything happens is the day that nobody's going to expect. It's going to be a day like any other day. I mean, it's just not going to be a day that anybody expects him to come. Now, that's for the bride. See, that's not going to be at the appointed time that is appointed for Israel, for the Jews. Because I will tell you this, they know exactly what's coming, and they know the time. They know the time that he's coming for them to deal with them. They know it is during those fall feasts. Okay, they have known that throughout. Okay, it's the law. They are raised in that law. They know it is tradition. It is teaching. It is everything. It is their life is knowing these feasts, God's feast, and what happens on these days. And that's what they look to. These are the days that they look to, and they know those are their appointed times, okay? And the Jews know that. They know exactly when he's coming to deal with them. They do. And it's during those fall. They know their time. They do. So that is for the bride. That is for the bride. When it'll be a day just like any other day. Well, first of all, hello, that's not for the bride because, again, everybody looks to that time. Everybody looks for his coming, for the rapture to happen in September on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. So everybody thinks, because it's called the day and hour, which nobody knows because of the new moon. Because that day is never known until that new moon is spotted. So you never know if it's going to be that day or like the next day. Okay, so it's a day and hour, which nobody knows. Well, yeah, but that's not it. Okay, that's not for us. That's not for us. That time, that's an appointed time, but it's the Jews' appointed time. It truly, really is. So, and they know. It's not for us. And I know a lot of people are going to continually go to that. And yes, of course, the blood red moon that happens in September. Oh, that's for Israel can see it, and so can Africa. That's gonna be ooh, bad for them. That's for bad, 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 bad. But January 6th, night of the 5th into the 6th is midpoint. Okay, is midpoint of that. All right. Now, it is midpoint between the blood red moons. There's an alignment that night also, but then okay, there's this alignment that I want to say is on like the 18th of January, maybe the 18th. I think it's that night. Could be the 21st, could be January 21st. I don't know, but it's a very rare alignment, and it's just a big month. It's a big, big, huge month. Now, I still say that I don't know because I'm going by all the days and the events that he's given us that are going to happen, okay, and placing them in their time period, right? Um, and then see, you have to allow for that 40-day harvest time, okay, because that's always has to be added in prior to the tribulation. So whenever he comes for his bride, okay, which is us, it's not the rapture, okay, remember that, it's the he it's our gift. He takes us early, right? So when we go for our training, but he there's the 40 days that you have to there's that 40 days. Now, I've been counting them as the 40 days before the trip, okay, starts, okay? So like from the time I always add those 40 days on, right? And so that's where what I did between February 13th and February 18th. That time is so huge biblically. Huge, huge. I don't, it's not so much that I'm looking for a date, okay? And you guys can't either, all right? We can't sit and look for the date, but it's being good watchmen. It's being aware because he wants your eyes to be aware of the signs of what he's doing. California had some earthquakes too, didn't it? Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, and the other day, I have to tell you this. The other day, was it the January 2nd or January 3rd, when the Israel was wiped off the map because the map company, the people who make all the maps, the geological maps, and they send them out to the schools and all that. Well, they they left. Israel wasn't on there. Like Syria was pulled down, and like I think Lebanon was extended. Now the West Bank was on there, and Gaza was on there, but Israel was not on that map at all. And these were their new maps that they had sent out. People buying them. Israel wasn't on there. Oh, supposedly they've recalled them and changed them and said it was a horrible it wasn't a mistake. I think that was a sign to something. I don't know what, but I don't know what. But that was like January 2nd or January 3rd. I don't know, but I know the next tetrad, the next blood red moon, our eclipse, is in March. Okay, it's in March. Now, as soon as I get done with this, I'm going back again because I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit is, He's just got me going. Because it's so you can prepare your field. It's so you can prepare your field, and so your watchman eyes are open, okay? And so you can have your tools, you can have what is needed for your harvest, for your field, so they can be protected, so they can be covered, so they can be so you as a good farmer can you know, do whatever you have to do, right, to prepare your field for the upcoming weather, right, for the incoming weather, okay, whatever that may be. You know, that's what a good farmer does. And that is why we're always watching and aware, okay? That is why we have to have our eyes open, you know. And it's not, we know, this is the thing is, we know what's happening now, okay? And we know we're here, okay? But we don't know the day or hour because he doesn't know the day or hour. We can give I'm giving you an area of time, you know, from that, from everything, this block that looks pretty good, okay? And then the time that the tribulation will start, okay? Now, I'm not done. We're not done. We're still going because it changes every day. Because he opens our eyes up to something every day. We have an aha. It's like, how come we never saw that before? And then we have to add it in, okay? And sometimes it changes things. Sometimes it makes them better. Sometimes we're like, oh, well, you know. But that's what he's doing every day. Every day. He's allowing us to see something new. And it has been just so wonderful. But we are all going nonstop. All of us are going nonstop. I have had very, very little sleep. And it's not that I want to know the day. It's not that. It is so you're ready. So you're ready. Okay? It's being good watchmen on the wall. Okay? So, you can't hamper your daily walk, your things that you do, thinking, oh, well, today could, be the day. But then again, make sure that your feet are not foiled in the defiled soil, because you don't know when he's coming. You know what I mean? It's got to go two ways. It's got to go both ways. You got to wake up and walk every day like today's the day. Today's the day. Okay? And then you got to also walk like, well, I'm going to do that because today could be the day. You know what I mean? But don't. The enemy is attacking everybody. It's unbelievable. Everybody is just getting pounded. And again, I said it's going to happen. Pounded. But remember, if the Lord has your hands tied, if he's got you weak where you can't do nothing about it, that's because he's put you there. Okay? If you feel like there's nothing you can do, you just feel totally hopeless, helpless, everything, well, because he says, go sit down in that chair and keep your hands to yourself and quit being a backseat driver, and I got this. Jesus is totally taking the wheel. There you go on this. You got to let him do it. It's everybody. Since my last video when I talked about this, it's heightened, unbelievable. Hours a day ministering, hours a day. Where do my hours go? Tears and just, devastation to their life. I'm talking now about not personal friends, personal friends. And then and they'll call me And I'll say, well, now you know what this is, don't you? Now, just the other day, everything was all, you got to know what's doing this. You have to know every day. Every day you have to prepare. You have to get up and prepare yourself for battle every single day. Okay? Every day. You have to know what you battle. Whether you're in your house, out of your house, in your yard, it doesn't matter. Every day is your battle. Every day. So, you might get my goddaughter, Carrie, who I love like my own child, right? She calls me. She is just, and she's a believer, right? She's a believer. But boy, when she gets going, something rattles her, she goes off the deep end, right? And she's just going to just sabotage everything in her life that's going good right now, because of things of the past, trauma of the past. And that's what it is. It's trauma. Okay, I said it's like hauntings. You're haunted, and you're going to, you just know that it's going to happen again. There's trigger points, and when you start to feel scared and insecure, and you need that security, and you don't have it, well, it's you're haunted by it, and we are haunted by traumas of our past. That doesn't have to be an accident. I mean, that could be a marriage, right? With someone who made you promise after promise after promise that things, your life was going to get better. You were going to be a real family, and this is going to happen, and I promise, you're going to have this, the kids are going to have this, we're going to do this, and then we'll get to do that, and we'll get to do that. You know how they get you all excited about it, and you think this time is the time that it's going to be. It's not. It's not. And it's over and over and over. Because see, at that moment you have hope. You have hope. Okay? You have hope. But then it ends up turning out the same way it always has. Hopeless. Hopeless. Because it doesn't happen. Well, after that happens so many times that, and let's say you move on, and then you have somebody in your life now that, is going to make you some promises. Well, if those promises aren't like in blood, and written out to the T in this little, if they don't take charge, you almost, that kind of scares you, and so it's like you start thinking all kinds of things, right? Yeah, you start thinking all kinds of things, and you end up sabotaging it. You sabotage it, okay? If you don't hear what you want to hear or what you need to hear, okay? Just to put you in that safe zone. And there's trigger points, and there's certain things that will happen that somebody in your life may do or say, and they don't even have a clue of what it is, but it's a trigger point for you, and it triggers something that's happened in the past, and it just makes you completely despondent, and that you just know that this isn't going to be good, because this exact thing's going to happen again, and that's what we do. But anyway, I had to get her through this, and I said, well, you know what this is, don't you? And I said, but this is what Jesus talks about when he talks about being in a cell, being in a prison. He's open the door and walk through it, get out of it, okay? I know you're comfortable standing there because you've been a victim for so long, but move through it. And but that's what happens. It's really hauntings. It's like a haunting from our past, and we're traumatized, and people don't understand that. They don't understand that, from relationships, or it can be man and woman, or it could be whatever relationship means, family, friends, siblings, whatever it is, but something, it has, it was very traumatizing. However, it was, and people don't realize that. They think they move on, and people, people say, oh, well, they've hardened. Well, no, they were traumatized, it really was. And that is what is leading and guiding and driving your actions now. So anyway, we get all through this, and I said, well, you know what that is. So you just have to open your, you have to be honest. You have to, you have to, this is a new person, you know. I go, they're probably totally lost of why you're even so upset and mad, and why you've just ended everything in your new life, because they don't understand it. You know, they don't know what happened, and at least you need to explain it and let them understand. So when she did, everything was great. She felt so empowered, and I told her she had to quit being a victim. I said, you're just gonna sit there and take it. You know what you're gonna do is, I go now, I go, you're waiting for somebody to come and make you happy. And this is what people have to understand is, you cannot let your happiness come from somebody else. Okay? You cannot do that, because you will never be happy. You will have moments of happiness, but you will truly never have happiness. Okay? Because something will always traumatize that happiness. All right? And you don't know how to function on your own. You don't know how to function on your own. So we had this huge thing. I wish I would have recorded that day. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally wish I would have recorded that, because I mean, it was just a flowing. It was just totally flowing. Um, that's for another time though. But she was like, so then the other day she had called and she said, I don't know, everything was going great, and then this happened today. And I said, and she told me, I said, well, you totally know what that is. That's the enemy. Okay, that's him whispering all day in your ears. And I said, now look at this. Think of how, think of the patterns in your life, because we all have patterns. It's just recognizing them, you know. And I said, every single time that something good like this has happened, and you've been positive and up, and you're going in your life, you know, you're going to go back to school and you're going to do this. What has made you quit? What has made you quit? It's always been a couple days after you've, you know, made this obligation, and something has stopped you, just like it's trying to do right now. You know what it is? I go, and then move on. I go, don't feed into it. Don't feed into it. You know what this is, because then it came on every direction, right? I mean, every direction. I said, you move through it and know what it is. Stop giving into it. Stop giving into it. You know. And I said, you got to stop. You got to stop. And you have to be aware every day. Every day we have to know these things are in front of us. Okay? And it's going to happen. And as soon as you, she's a mother with a single mother with 3 kids. Boom, boom, boom. Right? 3 small kids. She wants to go back to nursing school. Go. Don't sit and wait and think there's ever going to be a good time. She's 31 years old. Okay, before you know it, you're going to be, 41 years old. So, what are you waiting for? Nobody's going to come in and save you. I mean, physically here, you know. You're going to have to go do this, but you're going to do it. You're scared? Well, so we are. It's hard work. You know, yes, it is. You're going to have very little sleep. You're going to have very little help. You know, you're going to have this. But it's not forever. It's just for now. And so, and she knows how I feel. I said, you have to give it to the Lord. He'll work it all out for you, you know. And this is after we already talked about how she knows he does. But I mean, she can do it. But see, she's just accepted whatever she thought was just going to be her life. You know, she deserved. She accepted it. You know, I had to give her the I am woman, hear me roar thing. You know, and I said, your kids, okay, how are you going to explain that to your kids? How are you going to explain that? How do you expect your kids to go anywhere in life when they just seen mom give up 250,000 times? You know, I said, no, not their dad, not anybody. You are their mentor. You. And it's what you do and how you go is what they're going to see. And if you just give up every time it's hard, they're going to too. They're going to too. And then they're going to throw it back in your face when you're older. And they're going to say, well, why? You didn't do nothing. Or you did this way. Why should you care, you know, how I do it? It's always a thing. And I said, you have to be aware of what these are and what keeps you down. Okay? Always. And that's what's happening now, just literally worldwide. 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 Every single lie, everything is coming out now. Fights. Oh, my own family. I tell you, the past month here, yeah, I had to drink some wine. I had to drink some wine. Okay, I'm not a drinker. I mean, I don't think wine hurts. A couple glasses of wine, I can't even get through two of them. But I mean one. But I mean, I had to drink some wine. I did. Because I totally understand. I totally understand. And we had to go through that. But I understood what that was too. So, Satan's always going to come after me. He's going to always come after my children. And if he can't get through an open door through me, he's going to try to come through open doors of my children. Anyway, this one's getting really long, or it is really long. So, oh, it's almost an hour. I'm going to cut it in half. Anyway, I'm going to do another one, but so I don't know. I mean, I'm watching everything like you guys are, but at the time I've been 24/7 with my group, right? And because what one's not getting, the other one is, but it's the confirmation of the Holy Spirit, because He's given it to us all the sight, and we're pulling it all together, and it's just been an unbelievable time. It really has. Unbelievable time. And so before I said watch between the 24th and the 6th, and I meant that, okay? But then because I know that once February, I know all this time is big, all of it, and he can come anytime, but it's these calendars is what it is. It is placing the events on their proper calendar, on their proper time, on their proper, okay, that's what it is, right? That's what it is. So, and that's what I have to go back and do. We're placing them now because the parables, that's going to be on the Jewish calendar. So that's pretty well going to, you know what I mean? That what we're being taught with that's going to be during the tribulation. So anything that is the pattern that is repeating itself, okay, that is for the trib, start of the trib, into the trib, and in the end, okay? And that's what that is. So the signs would be on Enoch, and that is what's coming, okay, what's going to happen, the events that are going to happen, right, per the signs, because that's going to be on Enoch, right? So then you have to pull out Enoch's calendar, then you have to, and then that, and then the wonders is going to go on the Gregorian for the bride, okay? So it's dealing with all three of these, trying to put them in place. That's what I'm doing. So don't, please, this, so much is in the news too. That comet that's out there that's burning bright. It's supposed to come past, I think, January 6th too. January 6th is a lot of things, really weird things. Now all of a sudden, that is, going to be on or about around that date. But my thing is, we gotta watch them all. We gotta watch them all. But this is what I'm doing now. I didn't night before last, and I didn't go to bed. I didn't go to bed. So I didn't go to bed. I'm doing good. I'm feeling great. Feeling great. But baby, she's wearing me out. She's wearing me out. My daughter's having surgery tomorrow. My daughter's having surgery tomorrow. She's having a hernia repaired because she didn't listen to her mother after she had the baby, and she did too much. She had a big hernia, and she's having that tomorrow. Well, guess what? She can't pick up the baby. She can't lift the baby up for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Who you think's gonna lift that baby up? Who you think? Me. I can put her on her lap, but she can't lift. So how am I gonna do that? So now I have to go down there and stay all week long. Gotta watch the baby, and I gotta take care of her. And do me wrong. My daughter Oh my God. She freaks out when she gets shocked. I can't even. I dread tomorrow so much. I dread it. I dread it. I dread it. I have to get up at 5, and we have to leave it. We have to leave at 5 because we have to be at the hospital by 6. I got the baby too. So when you see me late at night and I'm tired and whatever, it's this way it's got to be. I got to get this in. I got to do it. I got to do it. I have plenty of time to rest. That's why I say I have plenty of time to rest. But right now is not my time for rest. Right now is my time of finishing strong. Finishing strong. I have to finish the race strong. And that's what I'm going to do. But please know this. Be watchful. Be watchful with everything. Because things are accelerating now. Things are accelerating, and these events are going to just start. Boom, 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 boom. All right? And watch that ring of fire around the thing. And you can see all those earthquakes around that ring of fire. It's huge. Anyway, I know I'm behind on everything, guys. I'm so sorry. I really am. But, gosh, I can't fight the Holy Spirit. I cannot fight. Stuff, there's no way I could know. No way I could know without his guidance. I mean, I wouldn't say no, put them together. To put them together. There it is right there. I mean, and then for them to line up and match perfectly. I just want to fall over sometimes. So anyway, I love you, and you guys, just watch. You have to watch. You have to watch. So, I said December 24th to the 6th. Well, just move it up, okay? Because I'm telling you, it's all, we just don't know what calendar that's on. And now that's the other piece to the puzzle. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. I love you. See you really soon.